No, it's not Baywatch, it's Bournemouth. And I'm not David Hasselhoff, thank goodness. But don't worry, because we're going to give you the British version of California.
Mr. Bombastic! We order some bombastic, romantic, fantastic lover.
All right, ladies, hunks were a bit thin on the ground when Top Gear cruised to the coast, but we can offer you beach babes, the foaming sea, sand, more sea, and the only car that evokes all of this, the beach buggy. Ah yes, as usual, we've got our fingers right on the pulse. The 90s seem to have gone all retro, and demand for new and used buggies is growing faster than Noel Gallagher's eyebrows, as drivers desperately seek new, old ways to express themselves. To me, the buggy will always be a cheap and cheeky expression of youthful individualism and exuberance. Take an elderly Beetle, chop the top, add a couple of grand, and you too can pretend you're a hip and groovy pop star, like Sir Cliff Richard. These are the zany, bugged-out credits for that Saturday night essential viewing, It's Cliff Richard. Great show, and Cliff clearly knows how to move it behind the wheel when he's wired for sound. Not so sure about the netwear though. But Cliff had a point. Buggies were born to blat across the dunes of California, but they were cool to run on the road too. On the cusp of the 60s and 70s, they grabbed the imagination and survived changes in attitude and mood, and people loved them. But nothing dates quicker than youth culture, and the beach buggy faded into gentle obscurity. There are still a few around, but like Jeremy Clarkson's wardrobe, they've hardly changed in 20 years. This is the Renegade. It's quick, loud, and you can put one together for peanuts. This is a GP Mark I. It's got a dirty grate engine out of a camper van, just under 2 litres, and because it only weighs as much as an empty crisp packet, that's big enough to blow away Cosworths. These bucket-seated bone shakers are great if you're deaf and you've got no friends. But if you're the coolest dude on the strip, you're going to want something a bit more laid back, with a few more seats. Oh, I like this one. It's an original GP from the 1970s. It's lighter, it's faster, and it's most definitely cooler than the tatty old Beetle that provided the suspension, the chassis, and the engine. It's like Noddy grew up and built himself a hot rod. But even this isn't the last word in buggies. Oh no. Because it's taken a British company, EC, to reinvent the bug. A proper utility vehicle designed for the sun and sworn to fun. All rise for the Bandit. The Bandit is based on the modest mechanicals of a Rover 100. It's quick, it's clean, and it's modern. But it's not the bonniest beast on the boulevard, is it? In fact, the Bandit probably got its name from GBH of the eyeballs. But that's not what matters. If this car's going to bring back buggying, it should make you smile. There are 3 engines available, a 1.1 litre, a diesel would you believe, and this rev-happy 1.4. With 100 horsepower and a whole thing weighing less than a mini, it can reach 60 in under 8 seconds, or so they claim, and still give 50 to the gallon. Those old buggies were rough and ready, but it's awfully civilised in here. There's even aircon for a bit extra. But the designers of this bug are die-hard hikers who reckon there's nothing like a bit of fresh air. Unsurprisingly, the Bandit's been designed and built for holiday hire. And that's ironic because the handling's rather like that of an airport luggage trolley. And it is much more Benidorm than Bournemouth. You can almost see it working somewhere where they drive cars the colours of cocktails.
I can't see it working here myself, although they do plan a version for Britain with a roof.
The spirit of the beach buggy is alive and kicking in the Bandit, but it's not for me. For between 11 and 15,000 smackaroos, I'd go for a totally fab and groovy original GP and a month in the Caribbean.
But that doesn't necessarily make it a bad bug. It may be a bit too civilised for its own good, but if you can stand the stairs and the flies, it's a lot of laughs.